Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 9 of the Showbound podcast presented by Axel Watches. I'm your host, Michael Raskin, once again joined by Ethan Cardwell. Cardsy, what's up, man? How was your Christmas?
It was good, man. Just obviously with isolation coming up, got to see a little bit of my family before that happened. So it was good to see all of them before we kind of shut her down here. But no, good Christmas all in all. How about yourself? You get anything cool?
Nothing. I know you got a new pod mic. That looks nice.
Yeah, man, I'm rocking the new pod mic, and then actually I got lucky. Santa brought me a surfboard too, which I was looking for. So I'm gonna be shredding some waves behind my boat when summer comes and the ice is thawed out.
Yeah, I'll see you there. You can count on that. We got a big episode, man. We just got off the interview with Robert Thomas of the St. Louis Blues. Let me read out this resume for the fans here. Two-time OHL champion, Memorial Cup champion, World Junior Gold medalist for Team Canada, Stanley Cup champion, all of this before the age of 20, by the way. And I'm pretty sure he won gold at the U17s and U18s as well for Canada.
Yeah, I was just about to add that because you missed that at the start, and I was like, is he going to loop back around? And sure enough, he did. But yeah, no, this guy's resume is crazy, and the fans are going to get to hear about his whole career here today.
Yeah, we get into the Stanley Cup and everything that came with that, the parade, and after that was very interesting to hear. So I'm excited for everyone to get to listen to this interview, and we'll get to it in a bit. I wanted to say, Cardsy, something funny that kind of happened to me this weekend. I was up in my cottage with my dad and my brother, just hanging out for a couple of days. I wanted to go skating on the lake, but it wasn't frozen yet, so I was just like pretty bored inside. And we were playing poker, putting a bit of money on it. I actually won like $120, so pretty fired up. Just big money. And anyway, so I'm sitting there playing poker, we're having some drinks, and I see this like bird flying around. It was like kind of behind the bar in my cottage, and it flew over, and I was like, oh, there's a bird inside. And I look up, and it was actually a bat. I was like, oh, that's a bat. Like, that's a bat. There's a bat inside the cottage. So I mean, I don't want to expose my dad, but I mean, he was pretty scared. He ran and kind of locked himself in his room. And my brother and I were just like, how do we get this thing out? So he pulls up his phone, like we're looking around at bats, and we know that they like to be in the dark. So we're like, okay, we gotta keep the lights on here and turn the lights off like over there and guide it towards the door type of thing. We were trying to trick it, I guess. And we sent it, we got it down the hall using the lights basically to one of the rooms that has a balcony. And we got it in this room after like 15 minutes, by the way, of like running and screaming. And we got in the room and we shut the door, and we're like, okay, it's in the room, but the balcony doors were closed and locked. And now the next step was like, okay, this room's pitch black, the lights are off, and the bat's in there, and we have to somehow get it out. And it was pretty scary at the time. Like when I think about it now, like I'd just walk in. I mean, I did, but it was scarier in the moment. And so I didn't want to go in by myself, and my brother didn't want to go in by himself. So we were like, okay, we'll go in together. Like, let's do it together. There were two balcony doors. So we opened the door like really quietly because they were startled. Like bats get startled from the screaming, I think. And we were crawling on the floor because we didn't want to like have it fly and hit us in the face. So we were like crawling along the floor. It was super scary. Like I felt like a spy mission there. And we ended up opening the door and basically running out. And after like 5 minutes, it was out of there. But then the next day, a second bat came in. It was a different one. This one was smaller. And my brother actually was able to pick it up and like let it outside. It was pretty intense, but man, bats are scary. Like,
Dude, yeah,
they fly around fast.
Same thing for me. Like I had a bat one time in my cottage, and we just grabbed a fishing net and just caught it in the net and then threw it outside. And it was like, because we have bats always buzzing around the cottage. But yeah, no, that's pretty funny, man. You were so scared of a bat too.
Dude, I was crawling on the floor. It was pitch black. We couldn't see a thing. It was I don't know. We didn't want to turn on the light because then it would fly around and I'll be all scared. So I don't know. That was pretty funny, man. It was just like a weird one, but and I was pretty hammered. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was just one of those. But okay, let's get into some World Juniors talk. We got some exciting games going on, but before we do, some sad news that everybody knows now about Kirby Dach, who very unfortunately was injured in the pre-tournament game against Russia and is not joining Canada for the remainder of the tournament. What's your take on that whole situation, Cards?
Yeah, dude, I saw a picture.
The picture went out. If anyone hasn't seen it, it's pretty disgusting. Like,
yeah, it's super weird to see. Like, it's tough. I feel bad for the guy, captain of a star-studded team. Looks like they're teed up for gold here, and just to miss out on that opportunity is very unfortunate. But I think the rest of the tournament, Canada didn't look great against the Slovaks there, and this episode will come out after they've already played another game. So, but yeah, no, I don't think they look great. But their opener against Germany had a short lineup. I know my buddy John Jason Paterka there on Germany. He was goal scorer there for them, but he said they were just out of gas. They had nothing left in the tank, and with Canada's lineup like that, they were unstoppable. But I still, from what I've seen in the tournament, Russia kind of falters against the Czechs. Also, I still just don't see a team that can compete with the Canadiens when push comes to shove in that gold medal game. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, you said it very well. Canada seems to be the best team in this tournament, but then you hear a lot of talk about only 5 guys on Canada have played games this year, really. Like, how much does that factor in terms of like decision-making quickness and like Canada hasn't faced the test of I don't want to like insult anyone, but of playing a real competitive team. Like Slovakia, the game was fantastic and competitive, but you go into that kind of knowing Canada's going to win that game. And maybe the Finland game coming up, that's a test. And I wonder, those guys on Finland have been playing all season. Where as a player, Cardsy, how much does that matter when you're out of game shape over like 6 months?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was 10 months for the boys. I know I'm just coming up on 10 months here without playing a game. So it's a huge factor. And these other countries have been playing through restrictions in their own countries, but it's definitely a factor. But I feel like with their experience, some of them have NHL camps under their belt, OHL, WHL, QMJHL titles, just going on deep runs and stuff. I feel like they just know they have the poise, and they're just an overall better team, better skill. And I think they have better heart and hard work than the other countries, which will allow them, even though they may be a little bit behind in that category, to still overcome that and be able to take home gold for Canada. But there was one thing I really wanted to talk about here, and it came to my mind when you mentioned Finland. They have a kid on their team, Lambert, number 33, and he's not eligible till the 2022 draft. And this kid's something to watch. We're going to see it against Canada. If he doesn't play well against Canada, I'd be very surprised. He's a playmaker all over the ice, so keep an eye out for 33 against Canada.
Yeah, and another thing I want to touch on with Canada is, and we didn't talk about it in the last few episodes where we've talked about Team Canada, but Devin Levi, man, just he looks like a stud, and I'd never heard of him until this thing. Do you know anything about him?
No, all I know is he came from the CC. So who does it, for the fans who don't know, it's out in Ottawa. It's a junior A league out in Ottawa, and he's committed to Northeastern, and they've had a good crop of goalies go through there recently. So no doubt he'll be a good goalie in the future, and we're just seeing the first glimpse of it. Like welcome to the world stage kind of thing, Devin Levi, and he's taking it and he's running with it. I think if he's not in net against the Slovaks, it could have been a different result. He made some clutch saves there when he needed to keep them in it, and hopefully he keeps rolling.
Yeah, he was fantastic, and it's just interesting. He wasn't invited to the summer camp. He said he knew nobody on the team heading in. Like a guy you really like. I was surprised, I guess, to hear he's the starter, and now I'm not. He's very definitely earned it, and he looks fantastic. But it's a cool story when you hear a guy like that. And this is his first time probably playing on national TV, I would imagine too. And these guys have kind of had that experience, like playing the Sportsnet games and stuff like that. And he has a lot of eyes on him now. So it's really exciting. And yeah, it's definitely super cool for him.
And yeah, for everyone who bought a hat, just want to say thanks again. And we have a new line of merchandise that just came in, and it's actually toques for the winter. So get yours to stay warm, super comfy. I mean, Raskin's got terrible hair, so you can't see it today, and he's doing a good job. The new Showbound toque's doing an amazing job of covering up that normal bed head. So everyone should go check out our toques and DM us and get in contact if you want to buy one.
I honestly, Cardsy, you are playing a dangerous game chirping about hair when you look like that. So I can fire back pretty easily, but I'll keep it classy. But I mean, everyone knows, I think, what your hair looks like. Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Yeah, no, look at my hair. I'd say most people would say I got some of the luscious locks in the OHL. Who doesn't love good blonde flowing hair, especially on the ice? So I'm pretty confident in my hair, and I don't know. Let's get the fans to back us. Like maybe we'll have to put a poll up.
More afro than flow.
We'll see. I say we put up a poll on our Instagram story and see who says that who has better hair.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll do it. But yeah, check out the toques. I'm wearing them right now. I'm wearing it and it's so soft, comfortable, warm. Like I'm excited for anyone to get these ones. They're really high quality and we're definitely going to be looking to put out some high quality merch only. I'm excited about what's to come. So check those out. And some NHL news. Another unfortunate one, Henrik Lundqvist, who we know is out for the season, has now announced that he's set to have open heart surgery. He posted out on his social media, the last 3 weeks, my focus has shifted from training camp and the upcoming season to my health and what I can and can't do. Scheduled for an open heart surgery now, aortic valve replacement, aortic root and ascending aortic replacement to be more exact. We all have our mountains to climb, staying positive here and set on the road to recovery. So, very positive energy from that. And it's definitely a very challenging time for him and his family. And for every hockey fan, he's a legend and always will be. So definitely wishing him the best. I'm pretty nervous. I mean, just reading that and hearing it. But what do you think about that situation, Cards?
I mean, I'm no doctor. I have no clue what any of those words mean, but open heart surgery I know is very serious. And I think a guy like him, he's super positive, he's super young, and I really just hope for the best and wish him all the best. And I do think everything should be all right. And hopefully we'll be able to see him happy and healthy in the near future here.
Yeah, and I know he has his heart set on a return to the NHL. It'd be remarkable. It'd be exciting. It'd be the biggest story. So, all the best to him, and hopefully that goes well. And we'll keep everyone updated with when there is an update with that situation as it's ongoing. But also in the NHL, this one today, Corey Perry is signed with the Montreal Canadiens. So, exciting. Obviously, a veteran in the league and someone with playoff experience who knows how to win and will bring a lot of leadership to that young Montreal Canadiens team. What do you think about that signing?
Yeah, he's a wise vet. He's been in the league for a long time, and that kind of takes me into something that we didn't actually have written down to talk about, but just something that came to mind. And he was the 13th forward in his World Juniors, and obviously became a game changer and well known as one of the best 13 forwards Canada's ever had. And we're kind of seeing that early on in the tournament this year with that Phil Tomasino, Dawson Mercer, even Ryan Suzuki, just being all huge contributors, which they're all potentially that 13th forward or that last man in, and they're just making a huge impact for the team. So they could potentially become one of these Corey Perry type stories, and similar to Matthew Barzal back in his time too.
Yeah, I mean, it must be nice having a 100-point scorer in the OHL as your 13th forward and Phil Tomasino, and he's just been fantastic in the tournament so far. All of them have. Seeing Suzuki score obviously made me happy. But it's just what a lineup, and we've gone on and on about Canada, but really this is one of the greatest teams like that I can remember. I mean, obviously you have those years like 2005, 06, 2009, even like some great teams, but this is just incredible, so exciting. And yeah, I mean the Corey Perry signing I think it's a great fit. It'll be cool to see him play in a Canadian market, and Montreal's made some good moves. Dreger talked about it last week, and they're looking good, man. They're gonna be a good team.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely a little bit weird seeing him in a Canadian sweater, as we became so accustomed to him as a Duck, and now as a Star, obviously. But it'll be different, and we'll get to see him play more often as it'll be on TV in the Canadian division. But just before we send it over to our great interview with Robert Thomas, I just want to say for anybody in the local Durham region right now, obviously we're in lockdown, but the Royal Oak Pubs in Whitby are offering takeout and just have some amazing food. Really important right now to support local businesses when we can. So I suggest everyone go check them out. Great food, great service, available for pickup or delivery. So go check them out. That's the Royal Oak Pubs in Whitby. And now we'll send it over to Robbie Thomas.
We're pleased to be joined now by Robert Thomas of the St. Louis Blues. Robbie, how's it going, man?
Not too bad. How are you guys doing?
Very good. Fired up to have our first Stanley Cup champion on the podcast. But where are you living right now? Are you in St. Louis?
Yeah, back down in St. Louis. Looks like camp's getting going soon, so just gearing up towards that.
What are you doing now? Like on the ice every day or what?
Yeah, we got pretty much I think 4 times a week right now, and just workouts and stuff. So getting ready to go.
And I want to know who are you living with over there?
I'm living on my own now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I got my own spot this year, so
Did
it's
I was asking Cardsy this the other day, not on the podcast, but do you know how to cook?
I do actually.
Oh yeah. What do you
I
make
did.
for yourself? Like what are you making for yourself now?
My go-to, I would say, I got my parents got me a nice cast iron pan for Christmas, so I've been frying up a lot of steaks with it.
Yeah.
I'd say that a little asparagus. Not a big salad guy, so I haven't been dipping too much into that, but yeah, steak and asparagus, maybe some rice. Those are kind of the go-tos.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then you said you're back in St. Louis now. Obviously, you guys are going to be playing out of your home rink this year, so that's pretty nice. But we'll go back to the bubble. Can you kind of just take us through like how that was? Obviously, going in as Stanley Cup champions, was there any added pressure heading in there? And then what kind of stuff did you do on your free time in there to keep yourself busy?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of all of last year we had a ton of pressure. Everyone, you go in every game and the other team's going to play their best. They want to take you down. And the same thing in playoffs. And Vancouver played us hard and played us well and ultimately beat us. So yeah, there's definitely a little bit of pressure, but it was the same thing going through it the whole year. Day in the life of the bubble. It's not too exciting. Pretty much get up, you go to the rink. If you weren't playing that night, you just practice, and then you're pretty confined. You'd pretty much just go to your room or hang out in the players' lounge. Those are your two options, and then game days are our usual game days on the road.
Yeah, and are you a video game guy or anything like that?
Yeah, I play a good amount of video games. Right now I'm on the COD train, so we were playing some Warzone in the bubble as well.
Did you have any like funny encounters or see any funny encounters? I guess maybe some elevator rides that were awkward.
Yeah, there's a lot of awkward elevator rides. Whether it was from the year before's playoff series, we were seeing a lot of Dallas in the elevators, coaches, management. It's kind of different, especially when you're supposed to be apart from everyone. So that was weird. I remember, a couple of times you're in the middle of the series and you'd go out to dinner and you walk in and next thing you see the whole Vancouver team eat dinner there and you're like, okay, I don't want to eat here. So so there's a lot of those little interactions that you'd run into.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I can't even imagine that. Okay, but we'll get into more of this Stanley Cup and NHL experience in a bit, but I want to take it back to your OHL career, starting with your first year in London. That London team that you won a Memorial Cup with in that year was unbelievable. Played with like Mitch Marner, Matthew Tkachuk, Victor Mete, like just a sick group of guys. What was it like that year stepping into such a talented team?
Yeah, I mean it was a good learning experience for me. I didn't play much that whole year. Started to play a little more in the playoffs. But yeah, the whole year was kind of just a grind. But it was a good learning experience for me. Obviously, you listed off some of the players we had on the team, and our roster was so stacked, top to bottom. And some of those older guys like Mitch, Dvorak, and Matt and Chucky. They were huge for me. They'd always talk to me, and I'd kind of just follow them around the rink and on the ice, and just kind of learn from them. So it was, yeah, you didn't get to play much, but you got to learn a lot.
Yeah, it's funny. We had Brett Wilichka on, who is a former Londonite, played with Marner when he was just coming in, and he talks about him passing his wisdom on to Marner, and then you talk about Marner passing his wisdom on to you. It's funny. We got this cycle of London Knights knowledge coming on the podcast here, but I had an interesting one, I guess. When are you going to take LK27 out of your Instagram bio?
Yeah.
What's that? Come on.
I'm not sure about that. I might have to keep it in for a little longer.
Why do you guys do that? I don't understand.
It's kind of just like an inside joke. There's not really too much meaning to it. It's just kind of funny. So, and it kind of bothers some people. So we like doing it.
It bothers me seeing Mitch Marner, one of my favorite players on my favorite team, having LK93 in his like Twitter bio. I'm like, come on, you've been on the Leafs for like 5 years. I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of a funny inside joke. There's not really too much meaning to it, but it's funny.
Yeah, and then obviously after your first year, you said you didn't play a bunch, but increased role in your second year, point per game player, and then you ended up going 20th overall to the Blues. What was that year like, and what was the increase in minutes and all that kind of just contributed to overall success and a really high draft pick?
Yeah, I think it kind of just carried on from, the playoffs and our Mem Cup run. And I started to play a little bit more, gain some confidence. And then, the next year is my turn to step up. And um, yeah, I started at the bottom again my second year and just slowly worked my way up. And, World Juniors came around. We had a couple guys go there and, you get your chance and you just run away with it. So that whole year was crazy. We lost I think it was Erie in double overtime, game 7 in the playoffs as well. So yeah, that was a crazy year, up and down. But then yeah, the draft was awesome. It was pretty cool celebrating with your family and friends. And at first, I had no idea anything about St. Louis. Never seen any pictures of the city. Had no clue about it. But I still remember one of the first texts I got was from Matthew, who grew up in St. Louis and said I was going to love it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty special. And if I'm correct, was the draft in Chicago that year?
Yeah, I was in Chicago. So
Obviously,
that was
St. Louis and Chicago, big rivals. So what was
yeah.
that?
I still remember getting booed walking up to the stage. So that was my first kind of taste of the rivalry. And then obviously we actually had some crazy games with them last year. So it's a pretty cool rivalry we got going on.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And then you just talked about the Mem Cup. Can we take you back to your first year and just like what was that like being a rookie and just winning the Mem Cup?
Yeah, I think I've gotten pretty lucky in my 2 rookie years.
Yeah.
So yeah, people like to say, you're playing with house money now. You can kind of just, see how far you can take it. But yeah, it was a learning experience. That's pretty much it. The whole first year, and then the Mem Cup was pretty cool. Obviously, it's not a lot of people get a chance to win that, so that was awesome. And our team was just so stacked. I think we won 17 in a row to win the Mem Cup, which is pretty ridiculous. And then yeah, I got another crack at it my third year in junior, but I just fell short.
I was at that game in Niagara that you guys won. It was in Niagara, right? I'm not mixing this up.
Yeah,
I
in
was
Niagara.
I was there, and I was disappointed. I was a big Ice Dogs fan that year, and you just steamrolled. I think you guys swept the finals, like you said. It was just like a little bit sad for me to watch, but yeah, like you said, in your third year, you got another run at it. You got traded to Hamilton, and before we get into that run, you played with my buddy Connor Walters there. You got any funny thing on him? He's a weird, interesting guy.
Yeah, Wally, he's
Wally's the
great.
man.
Everyone loves him. Yeah, he's an interesting character, that's for sure. When you get a couple drinks in him, he's always awesome to be around. That's for
a
sure.
different man. He's
Yeah.
He was a legend at the bars in St. Catharines. There, you got to watch out once he gets a few in him. He's the man. I love Wally, and yeah, I don't know. He's just a good leader. He was the captain of our Brock hockey team, and he's playing in the ECHL now, actually. So that's exciting for him.
Yeah.
But before we get into that Hamilton year some more, I got a little surprise for both of you.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Oh,
Who invited this kid?
Don't tell me.
What's up, Brownie?
Glasses must have been free, right?
Why, you don't like him?
I'm kidding. I haven't seen you with glasses ever.
Hey, I just want to jump in for the listeners. We're joined by Aiden Brown now, former Barrie Colt and friend of Robert Thomas. But Brownie, you got anything while you're on here that you want the listeners to know about Robbie?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Pretty good guy.
See what you got.
yeah, I guess that's it. Like, what are we talking about? Stories? Hey Rob, I was telling Rask about he was asking me like stories about you, like funny ones. I told him, I said you only have one career fight, and it's at SAC U16 hockey game.
Is that the line brawl we had?
Yeah, that was like that live ball with St. Mike's or something. I forget who it was.
Yeah.
I remember going to the room and you were so pumped after.
Well, we had another one in Peterborough there, minor hockey. That didn't go too well for you though.
I got 8 games for that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, minor.
I think those are the only 2 I've ever been in, both with you and line brawls. So
yeah,
pretty funny.
Brownie, you got any stories from playing against him? Like you guys remember playing against each other? Any good battles?
Yeah, like I remember, what was it? It was like a Friday night at the Bud, and you posted that pic.
Yeah.
The first time we've ever played against each other.
Yeah, that was funny. That was weird. I I don't know how I felt about playing against you. It's funny.
Yeah, I know. I don't really have any good stories just because it wouldn't really get paired up with Rob too much.
And Brownie, you're a rat to play against too. Like I can imagine, like Robbie's just buzzing around out there towing guys, and Brownie's just sticking them right in the chest or stuff like that. It's classic.
I try and give it to him a bit.
We got that dumb square toe that would hurt when you slash someone.
Yeah, I
still
did
remember that.
Not anymore. Cardsy, you should have seen this thing. It was like a square with a point. It was stupid.
A weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, just taking people out there. Not a bad call though.
Robbie, did they ask you about your the backyard rink?
No, I haven't got to that yet.
We'll get into it. I don't want to, as much as I want to keep you around, Brownie. We should keep this.
I was spoiling it. Yeah, I just
keep it going.
Hop on and say hi.
You got dinner with the girlfriend to get to now, so
I do. Homemade pizza.
We'll let you go. Thanks for hopping in, Brownie. Good seeing you.
No worries, boys. See you later. Have fun.
See you, Brownie.
Yeah, I don't know. I figured I'd bring him in as a little surprise guest on the pod this week, but
love it.
He's an awesome guy. But anyway, third year in Hamilton, we were just talking about it, and what was that playoff run like? Because you went from on a team in Hamilton that really didn't get too many fans in the regular season, and as you know, like throughout the rounds until the finals, like you were selling out that building. And what was it like, kind of being part of such a huge movement there in Hamilton?
Yeah, I think it was awesome. I mean, I got the first taste of it. We had a World Junior exhibition game there before we headed out to Buffalo, and I still remember it was sold out, upper and lower bowl, and you just tell the passion in Hamilton for hockey, and they just, the team was starting to slowly build momentum from when they first got there to that year. And then, like you said, it seemed like every game, even throughout the regular season, there'd be a little bit more buzz and a little bit more people that would show up, and then, come to the OHL finals and we're selling out the bottom bowl. So, I mean, it's awesome. They do a great job. I mean, Steos and Anlauer are such great hockey people and just such great people in general that, I'm so happy for the success that they're having.
And then, you just mentioned the World Juniors, tune-up games and stuff like that. We were talking about how often you win too, and then this is just crazy. Win a World Junior as well to add to the trophy case. So can you kind of take us through that year, that World Juniors, how special it was to represent the country, and what it was like just to be able to win gold?
Yeah, I mean, it's so cliche, but Brownie touched on it a little bit there. The backyard rink. Every Christmas we'd have it up, and guys. My buddies like Brownie and stuff, they'd all come over and we'd all skate on the backyard rink. And, my dad would throw a TV in the window so we could watch the World Juniors while they're playing and stuff. And so that's really the dream for any Canadian kid. And, it was so cool just being there. I mean, I don't even know how to say it, but it was just like one of the coolest experiences of my life. And, have your whole family fly in and just see, on like my school board, my elementary school, they had like Let's Go Robbie and stuff like that, and just seeing the whole country support it was really, really cool.
That's pretty sick. And that was the Buffalo year, yeah?
Yeah, so, that was in Buffalo.
Yeah, and you got the outdoor game, right, with against the States. Like, how sick was it to play outdoors? Obviously, the States had the Bills Moth jerseys on too, which was absolutely disgusting. And then that was a great game, obviously. So what was that game like? It
was awesome. I still remember the funniest thing was we went up for the first period and the stadium was like half full, and we're like, what the hell's going on here? And then, we went in for the first intermission, came out in the second, and it's just slammed. And we found out after there was a big accident at the border, so all the Canadiens couldn't get over. So then the second and third, it was packed. But yeah, those Bills Mafia jerseys were awesome. But yeah, that was a really cool game. First outdoor one, and the hockey part of it isn't the best, but the rest of it's awesome.
So you talked about the backyard rink. Brownie brought it up. I think we should talk about it. And Brownie told me that you also have like a real hockey dressing room in your garage. Is that right?
Yeah. My dad put in those like heated lockers or whatever. So even after hockey, just throw your equipment in there, heat it up, and cool it down. So yeah, it's awesome. We got a great setup going.
Oh, like I need to get myself over to your house or something, man. I'm dying to get on the ice right now.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you have siblings?
Yeah, younger brother.
And
He's in school at Western Engineering.
okay, he must love the backyard rink though too, right? He's a hockey player, I assume.
Yeah, he grew up playing hockey, and yeah, we would always be out there. He'd always come out with my buddies and stuff, and yeah, it was awesome times.
Oh, I wish. I'm jealous. All right, we got to talk now. We got to get to the NHL career here. So the next season, you make it to St. Louis, and I want to know, when you were up there, did you like, you have those first couple games, like 9 or 10 games to kind of get evaluated? They might send you down. Did you know you were going to stick around? And if not, like, when did you know that you were there to stay?
I mean, you kind of you have an idea, throughout the first couple games, and um, you kind of have an idea of the plan that they have for you and stuff like that. But you're still on edge because you still know it's a possibility. They could say whatever. They could say, you're staying up, blah blah blah. But you never know really until you get past that 10th game. So yeah, I mean, I was hopeful that I was staying up, and I just worked as hard as I could, and tried to play as well as I can to, in the limited ice time you get in your first 9 games. So those are tough 9 games. They're pretty stressful and emotional, but as soon as you hit that 10th one, it's a big relief.
Was there like a meeting? Did you get called into the coach or GM's office? Like, you're staying? Was something go down like that?
I'm trying to. I think it was the GM just kind of pulled me aside. I think it was in the morning of the 9th game or my 10th game before they even released the lineup, and just kind of said, like, you're in tonight. You're staying up. So it's a pretty cool moment. I don't think I wiped the smile off my face for a couple days after that one, but yeah, no, definitely nerve wracking, especially when he calls you over when you haven't even seen the lineup yet. It could go either way. So that was pretty nerve wracking.
No, I'm even just smiling hearing that, just imagining how exciting that must have been. And I want to know, did you score your first NHL goal in those 9 games?
No, I think it took me like 13 games or something like that. I don't know the exact number, but
Who did you score it on?
in Nashville.
Pecorine?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a good one,
Yeah.
man.
It was. It was actually a good shot too. I don't usually give myself credit, but I don't know how I scored it. It's a weird one.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna go look for that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I closed my eyes and just shot it, if I'm being honest. So I had no idea where it was going. Got lucky.
Yeah, we'll have to put that one in a clip or something for the Insta Ras.
Mhm.
But then obviously it was just an amazing year for you guys. You went from last place in January, I think it was, to obviously winning the Stanley Cup. So just what was that like? You win everywhere you go, and then you come to the NHL, you're in last place, kind of probably thinking like, oh, this maybe I'm not going to win here, and then sure enough, you end up pulling through with the Stanley Cup. What was that year like, and what was the playoffs like when you guys did it, and then the Stanley Cup final?
Yeah, I mean, even though we're in last place, we kind of had this feeling in our room, and kind of confidence and a little bit of swagger with our team that, once we kind of got rolling there, that we could beat anyone. Even when we were in last there, we were beating some of the top teams in the league, but then we were just losing a lot of other games that we shouldn't be losing in. So it was just about finding that consistency, and I'm not really sure too much. There's a bunch of little sparks that could have happened there. Bennington obviously, and a couple other things. But once we started that 1-win streak, I think we went on a pretty long one. We had a good feeling about ourselves, and our whole thing throughout the whole year was, put us in a playoff series, and we're a tough team to beat. Like, we'll wear you down. We'll take it to you, and not a lot of teams are going to want to stick in there for 7 games against that style.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And then you're in the Stanley Cup Finals. You've played on the big stage throughout your whole life. Was there any different pressure than you've ever felt before when you stepped out there for your first Stanley Cup game compared to maybe a World Junior Gold Medal or a Mem Cup game?
Yeah, I think so for sure. I think you stepped on I still remember stepping up for warmups, and there's just a different feeling in the arena. There's a different, the air smells a little bit different. Your adrenaline's going like crazy. So I think that was definitely the biggest stage I've been on. and you could definitely feel the difference. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then this is kind of crazy. So I have James Duthie's book at home, and I was reading it today. I just go through and stuff, and you're in like the middle of it, your little section there. And sure enough, I'm just reading it this morning, and it comes up to your thing. So obviously, I give it a quick read. Fitting that you're on today. And I heard about your dad's red flip-flops that he wears as a tradition. Can you tell the listeners like what that's all about and how it started?
Yeah, so my dad's a different cat, that's for sure. And I don't know how this started, but we were in the under 17 tournament. It was out in Red Deer or something out west, and it's like minus 25 outside, and he decides to wear these red Under Armour flip-flops that are just beaten up to the final game. And sure enough, we won it, and everyone comes on the ice or whatever, and he's still wearing these beat up red flip-flops. And so he's a little bit superstitious, and mostly my mom is, so she was probably pushing it on him. So then we got back to London or whatever. Then the Mem Cup final, he decides, or him or my mom or whatever, decide that, oh, you got to wear your red flip-flops. And so that's kind of where the tradition started. And I still remember going into game 7 because I wasn't playing that one. But he texted me, he's got the red flip-flops on. So yeah, sure enough, he comes on the ice with the red flip-flops.
Yeah, well, when you got that text, you knew it was a done deal and you're a Stanley Cup champion anyway. So that's got to be a good feeling there.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to talk about the parade. I mean, and everything after that. You guys went to Vegas first, is that right? Or was that what happened there?
No, we went back to St. Louis, and we spent, I think, like three nights back in St. Louis, and then went out to Vegas for a couple nights.
Okay, so we'll get into that. But first, those 3 days in St. Louis, no rules, I think Binnington said. Like what were those days like there, like right after winning?
Yeah, I mean, it was nuts. I don't even know where to start. I mean, we got on the plane come back from Boston, and got into St. Louis at like 5-6 a.m. And we just kept kind of going on from there. We had a nice little owners meeting, and season ticket holders all greeted us when we got in. And then it kind of just went wild from there, leading up to the parade. And the parade was the coolest thing I've ever been a part of. I mean, there was, like Benner said, no rules, anything kind of flew. And it was actually really cool the way they did it. Like, usually they have you on like cars or whatever, or buses, and you can't really interact with the fans. But in ours, it was anything goes. Like, people were jumping over the railings, slamming beers with fans, and it was awesome. Like, they were letting us drive mopeds around. Like, it was anything flies.
Yeah, I saw this great picture you driving this little moped, or maybe it was like a tricycle or something, and you look great there. But I mean, it did look like one of the all-time like greatest Stanley Cup parades that I've ever seen. Like, that must have been amazing. And I want to know what's Vince done like. I remember this guy in Niagara, seeing him at the bars, and like he was getting every girl he wanted, like always having a good time. Like, I can't imagine what's he like in St. Louis now as an NHL player.
Vince is great. He's one of my good buddies, and he's a great guy. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we got to keep it PG.
I got one thing about the parade too, Rask. I remember seeing on Twitter, like you were 19 when you won, right? Still 19. Yeah. So everyone knows the drinking age in the States is 21, and I just remember seeing a picture, and it's like you just slamming a Bud Light, I'm pretty sure, in the middle of the streets of St. Louis. And I think the caption was like, Robert Thomas does not give an F about the drinking age. He's a Stanley Cup champion or something like that. And I was just howling.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could have been a little bit more careful at the parade.
No,
not that I was gonna. I think I got a couple texts the next day. I guess I was doing a live, TV interview or whatever with a full beer in my hand. So that was kind of funny. But I still remember the one thing I really wanted to do, but I didn't get it done, was I was trying to get a cop to like funnel one for me, but
No
he
way.
wouldn't do it. Yeah, I tried really hard, but
Oh man.
yeah, I think that was the line, but I was pushing it. I was pushing the
Hey,
line.
you get the Canadian pass though too. Like 19, you get away with it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh man, like this is just legendary. Like this is unreal. And then okay, you guys go to Vegas. Like what goes down there? I mean, in what you can say in a family friendly environment.
Yeah, I mean, we had a nice team dinner. I think there's a nice, I think it was SDK or whatever, nice steakhouse. So we had a nice dinner and then just, kind of a guy's celebration after that. And then went to bed, woke up, pool party, and then left right away.
And you were partying with Loud Luxury, right? Like those guys, good Canadian DJs. That's
Yeah, it was
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah, they let a couple of the guys on stage with the cup. So, yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, yeah, and before we get into your second year, I just want to know, like we talked to Tip about it before, about his rookie dinner when he was on the pod. What was rookie dinner like for you, and like how big was your bill that night?
Yeah, I mean, I got pretty lucky. I think there was 5 or 6 of us. We had our rookie dinner in Miami, and so that was a hefty bill. I think I had to pay. I got pretty lucky just because the amount of rookies we had, but I think it was like 7,000 around there.
Oh man.
So yeah, it
Ooh, yeah,
was a
pretty
heavy
lucky.
hit.
Jeez.
Yeah, it could have been way worse, that's for sure.
Oh man.
But they usually cap it. They usually cap it for the young guys, which is good.
Yeah, that's sick.
What was the night like after that? You guys go crazy?
Yeah, it was a good day and night, that's for sure.
All right.
And then yeah, after being a Stanley Cup champion, you established yourself as a NHL player, and then an NHL big time contributor in your second year. You had 42 points in only 66 games in your second year in the league. What was it like? Was it just a confidence booster after winning the cup, and where'd all the success come from?
Yeah, I think confidence is a huge part. I mean, the first year, a lot of people just feel it out. They kind of get used to it. The schedule is so tough with travel and all that stuff. And your second year you come back a little bit more confident. Obviously, especially after winning the cup, you gain a lot of confidence in yourself. So I think that was a huge part of it, and just being a little bit more comfortable out there.
Yeah, and now with your third year coming up, you going into your contract year after this one, how do you feel like you can do this year, and what are you trying to work on to really excel your game even further?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me to kind of excel is just consistency. It's a hard thing to do at a young age, and so I think that's the biggest thing for me is just be more consistent every night, and I think that'll help my game, as a whole. But yeah, like I said, a little bit more confident, and every kind of year you just get a little bit more comfortable. You kind of get to know the way a lot of players play, and what you can get away with, what you can't. So I think that kind of I felt that a lot in my second year, and even more so coming into my third.
What do you think of the new divisions here in this season coming up?
I mean, it'll be tough. It'll be like playoff series, throughout the whole year. We got some really good teams in our division, some top teams. We got to play against Petro now 8 times, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, no, I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be good for fans. A lot of playoff series, a lot of high intense competitive rivalries. So I think it'll be really interesting to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see the Canadian division. You want to send it to some fan questions cards, or you got any more?
Yeah, no, I think I'm all good from my questions personally, but we got a few questions coming in from the fans now. So we'll start it off with, who's the best chirper on the Blues? Like, who can just dish it to anybody?
I mean, who do we got? I mean, Perron talks a lot. I don't know if his chirps are that good. I think Bosey's got some good chirps just because he knows a lot of guys in the league, so he can get under some guys' skins. I'd say those two, and I know I'm gonna miss out on someone that I'll be pissed I missed out on, but I think Bortuzzo's pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
sick. Oh, and then Rask, we didn't even mention that. I just thought of something. What are your thoughts on O'Reilly getting the captaincy? Like, you got to be super excited. He seems like a great guy.
Yeah, it's obviously it's tough. Petro's gone. He was such a great leader and teammate. But that's just the way hockey is, and it's a business, and you lose guys every year. So, but yeah, O'Reilly's going to be an awesome captain for us. He's a great guy, great leader. He leads by example all the time. So, I think it'll be great for us.
Yeah, and then we'll get into some more. Do the Blues, does anyone on the Blues have any weird superstitions that you've seen? I know some Europeans, obviously, they can have some weird stuff, or even yourself. Like, anybody have anything weird going on before games?
I would say there's not much that I see. I mean, I'm not superstitious at all, so I kind of just go with the flow every day. I like playing sewer ball and kind of just hanging out. But yeah, I mean, trying to think, but I don't really see too many superstitions going around. Guys got their meals or whatever, their snacks. Some guys like getting a massage before, so it's kind of just everyone's preference. But I don't really see any funny ones happening.
Yeah. And then have you learned anything cool or insightful from some vets over your first 2 years that you just kind of taken in, and then we'll be able to pass it along one day?
I'd say not really. I'd say most of the stuff I kind of learn is more like lifestyle stuff. You meet people that can help you out with a bunch of different things. So I'd say that'd be most of the things that I'd pass on.
Yeah, and I guess, well, you've won everything anyway. So if anybody's going to tell you how to win or anything like that, you'll be like, listen, I already know how to do this, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. But yeah, that's it for the fan questions. Ross, you got anything?
Yeah, I got another that just came to me since we talk about the vets. I want to go back to the Stanley Cup Final Game 7 there in Boston. You're going into the third period. It's the intermission. Who's talking in the room, and what kinds of things are being said right there in that situation?
For our team, it would be, O'Reilly would say a bit. I'm sure Steiner, Bomeister, those guys are stepping up. A lot of those guys played a ton of games to get to that point. Throughout their career, and that would be their best shot at winning it. So I think those guys are throwing out the most emotional stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine the nerves heading into that.
And then moving along from that question, we'll get into what was your day in the life with the Cup? I know everyone gets a day in their hometown with the Cup. I heard a little bit in the Duffy clip in his book there, but can you kind of just tell us how cool it was to have the Cup back home and share it with some family and friends?
Yeah, I mean that was another one of the coolest days of my life. I still remember we had a big tent set up in the backyard for all the family and friends to have a nice little party back there. But I think the coolest moment of that day was, just when the Cup arrived. I had a couple close family friends there, and my parents, and they're all so nervous to see the Cup. And I still remember when I saw it, or when I pulled it out of the trunk, just right in the backyard. I just saw some tears from family, friends, and my parents as well. So that was pretty cool. The day I had started out, back home just with family and friends, close group, and then I went over to my high school, St. Andrews. So I had stuff with the kids camp there, and shared it with some of my guys at the gym or whatever, trainers and stuff like that. Then I went over to park in Aurora, and kind of just had a community thing where people in Aurora could come. I cycled through all of our minor hockey teams and stuff like that. Then I actually stopped at Dairy Queen on the way home. Got a little blizzard in the Cup, and so that picture's still hanging in the Aurora Dairy Queen. I just found out. So
That's unreal.
I've seen that picture. I can confirm that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, and then just back to my house. Like I said, we had the huge tent in the backyard, and it was just a party back there.
That's awesome. Oh man, that's so cool. Yeah, I just want to say, and we texted about it back and forth, but for you coming on, we're gonna send you an Axel watch. I got mine on right now. So does Cardsy over there.
Mine as well. Gotta be
Unreal.
looking sharp. So you'll be looking good.
take a look at the website again, send me your pick, and we'll get that going, and you can rock it into games there. And just for the listeners, I want to add, you can use the promo code Showbound15 to get 15% off at Axel Watches. But Robbie, thank you for coming on, man. This has been a treat. This has been a lot of fun, and I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to watching you this season.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
That was an incredible interview. So cool having a guy who has a resume like him on our show, and hearing him talk about the Stanley Cup gave me chills, man. Like, what do you think of that?
Yeah, man, at 19 to have already won as much as he did, and we talked about it. It's just really cool to hear from him and just get that intel. We've never had a Stanley Cup champion on here before, so it's just really cool to hear. I know I've talked to a few guys who've won the Cup before and get their take on it, but no, it's special to hear everyone's individual experience, and then their time after with the Cup, including the parade and then the day back home. So that's pretty special. And yeah, like you said, definitely got a little bit of goosebumps hearing about a few of those stories.
Support for the Showbound podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Big news, Manscaped just launched in Canada. For those listeners in Canada, you can be one of the first Canadians to experience their life-changing products.
Yeah, we were lucky enough. They sent us a kit, as you guys know, last week. I know Rask has his in hand today, but it's super cool. And no, exactly. Like it's a great product, and I've got my fair share of use out of it. Taking my time in the shower now is with that LED light. Nothing's going wrong. No nicks on the sack lately.
Yeah, exactly, Cardsy. I know it's been awesome having them send us that care package. I've been using it as well. And yeah, Manscaped redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team perfected the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created, and have their new and improved Lawnmower 3.0, as I'm holding right here if you're watching the video version. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. When I tell you this is premium, I mean premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes, so you can have a longer shave. The waterproof technology allows you to groom in the shower. And one of the coolest features, like Cardsy said, is the LED light, which illuminates grooming areas for closer and more precise trimming. They've also upgraded to a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology. And let's not forget about the charging stand. Show your mower off loud and proud, because this intelligently designed stand is a convenient charging dock powered by USB. If you're listening to me speak right now, I want you to experience it firsthand for yourself. Trim that junk of yours. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Showbound at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Once again, that's 20% off and free shipping with the code Showbound at manscaped.com. It's time to shave those balls, eh?
Yeah, you got to keep them fresh. You got to keep them fresh, and Manscaped does the best job for that. So I suggest everyone goes out there and gets them. And if you're a girl listening to this podcast, who knows? Go out and buy one for one of your loved ones or family members, and their balls will thank you.
Oh man. All right. So yeah, that just about wraps up this episode. I mean, we talked about at the beginning, we got the toques in stock now. So message if you want them. I'm wearing it right now and loving it. Feels good. And Cards, you got anything to add this week before we wrap it up?
No, man, just want to say thanks again for all the support, and just wishing Team Canada all the best going forward, and let's bring home the gold here. So that pretty much does it for me this week. Super excited about this episode, and yeah.